Hello, and welcome to episode 218 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers, talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular, the online client MTG Arena.
That's right. And we're back, baby. We're back. We took a break, but we're here. And I don't know, Jeff, it's been a great break. It was very necessary for, me in particular. Because me and my wife welcomed our first child into the world. So we took a month off for dealing with, figuring out how to be parents. But I was thinking, Jeff, do we need to rename the podcast? Because now we could be the Arena Regular Dads podcast.
Ooh, I do like that. And
Maybe.
quick question, did you just say that you have figured out parenting?
No. I took some time to figure it out. I haven't done it yet. I took some time to do it.
I was gonna ask for some Cole's notes there.
No.
It's taken me a little longer.
Yeah, I am now functioning enough that I can do some of the things I used to do. Where obviously before I was not able to do many
Hey,
things.
that's huge, man. That's huge.
But anyway, that's very exciting. But today we have our happy hour for the Avatar the Last Airbender Magic the Gathering set. I'm just so happy we get to talk about this and kind of close out before we go into Lorwyn. I think this is going to be great. Excited for the episode. But first, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap this week?
All right, this week we have a nut brown ale from Silversmith. We've definitely had Silversmith on the show before, probably a long time ago, but they're most well known for their black lager, actually, which is quite good. And brown ales are a style I enjoy, so I'm excited to try this one. It's a brewery that I know can make good beer.
Yes.
And I know it's a style that can be delicious. So the potential's there, for sure.
It definitely is. I think Silversmith, we kind of have a stamp on, I will drink kind of whatever they make, which that's because they don't make very many different things. They're not all over the place. They don't have a bunch of, random stuff constantly. It's nope, that's their Imperial Stout. I know I can get that. It's really good. Their Black Lager, So, looking forward to this one. Haven't had this one before. So, yeah.
Same.
Sweet. Well, Jeff, do you want to just crack this open? Do you want to get going?
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Oh, baby.
Hey, this is the first beer of 2026 for me.
Whoa. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're like, man, I've been drinking.
There's some of those days where you're like, I think it's time. I think it's for. Uh-oh.
Yeah. It's the only way to get my baby to sleep.
If I drink.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, cheers. First,
Cheers.
Jeff, how is this your first beer? Today is what day is today? The 8th?
Yeah. It was my New Year's resolution to go at least 1 week without a beer.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, you did it.
I was actually a little sick at the start of the year.
Got it. That makes a lot more sense.
Didn't really want one most days. So we're just kind of getting to the point where I'm ready. My body's ready for it.
Well, that's perfect. I mean, you did just say beer. Because when I'm sick, oftentimes I make myself a hot toddy to try to sweat it out.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think
I haven't tried that, to be honest.
I had a friend in college who swore by it. She was like, I drink 1 or 2 hot toddies, and then I put on a sweater, and I put on a hat, and I bundle up and just try to sweat the cold out. And I skip the other part. I just do the hot toddy part. I don't do the whole bundle up thing because you get sweaty and it's gross. But the hot toddies make you feel better, so it's nice.
Well, something you're going to learn is that you're not actually allowed to be sick anymore. So I don't get to just like cozy up and try to sweat something out for a few days. I have to still parent 2 children.
Stick it out.
There's a certain time limit of acceptance that you get from your partner in these situations, but it is not as long as you might think.
Yeah.
You get sympathy for like a few hours, and then it's like, are you still sick? God damn it.
Yeah. I also am a little bit of the like man cold kind of guy where like if I don't feel good, I don't want to do anything. So
I might have to change.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Or I just get yelled at. Who knows? Anyway, Jeff, we do have some magic news. Hey, lots of things happened over the break or over our little break. But the most important thing that you all need to know, and if you're not in our Discord, you don't know this yet. Okay?
Let me get a pencil and paper. I got to write this down.
Our last episode, we talked about the World Championship 31 for Magic the Gathering. We have not talked about it since because we've been gone. Mm-hmm. We have, as we always do, Magic fantasy teams that we put together for the World Championship. And
I don't remember this.
let's just say my team beat the crap out of Jeff's team. I'm just gonna say that. It worked out. Now, I'm not saying that my team was good. I did not win the entire thing. Actually, we did a bunch of it with our Discord. So if you're interested in next year, you should join the Discord. But Maturin, congratulations. We already said congratulations in the Discord, but this is an official one on the podcast for winning, beating everybody by a lot, actually. Like I think 9 points. Yeah. He beat everybody by.
So it wasn't even close.
Yeah. I think Jeff got the worst score of everybody, and I got like the second worst. So
I was gonna say, I love how the main takeaway here is that you didn't do well, but you did way better than me.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And it feels, honestly, it feels pretty good. Specifically because when we were doing this on the last episode, if you remember, Jeff did bring up the fact that I have never beat him in the World Championship thing. So that's why.
As soon as I said that, I was like, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. So taking home the victory.
Just manifested this dead last.
Yeah. Feels good. But anyway, so we do that for the World Championship. I'm thinking about if we do it for the Pro Tour. I don't know. We do have a Pro Tour coming up, which is Lorwyn Eclipsed. It's the end of January into February. They're playing Standard and Draft. And I don't know. There's like way more players. I think it's like 300 and some people. So it's not as tight. It's harder to like really have like any sort of ideas with teams. But it is kind of a fun way to watch some Magic. So if you're interested in that, come check out our Discord. Tell me you're interested in doing it, and then maybe we'll throw something together.
Yeah, we used to do it for all the, like, this is going back to like the Magic Pro League, which is a different era in terms of the types of events that were happening. But we used to do it for all the sort of big events. We kind of fizzled out on that. But this one with other people participating and not just me and you was a lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun. Yeah. So I might throw another thing together. Maybe we'll update some of the rules. We'll have to see. Could be a fun new thing.
And I do need to redeem myself. So the sooner we could try again, the better.
That's true. Also, there's only 4 throughout the year. So it's not like a crazy commitment. Like
it happens less often than a new Magic set happens. So.
God. Oh, all right. This year's gonna be great. Honestly, it kind of sucks.
Oh, real quick, I saw.
Well, go ahead.
Just a random thought that I wanted to get out was on Reddit. I saw something about Riftbound, but it was a player. They were showing their next 4 sets or whatever. There's 4 sets coming out in 2026, and the player was like, "This seems crazy. Like, is this normal for a TCG? Like 4 sets in a year?" All the comments were just like, "Oh, honey,
yeah,
like you have no idea.
You do not. You have nothing to complain about." We're gonna have like a new set.
So
every
it's
single
obviously like a League of Legends player playing cards for the first time. And we're like, four new sets? Are you crazy? And everyone's like, only 4?
week. Yeah,
What's going on?
only 4. That's great.
Yeah.
Though, like, that's one of those, like, Riftbound needs a bunch of reprints. Like, they need more sets that are just reprint sets because nobody can get those cards.
Yeah, but the game like just came out, you know, so it's, I don't know. Their plan is to just maybe have bigger print runs on each subsequent set and then like
Do their thing. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what they're doing over there, but it was a pretty fun game. But like you said, I actually can't play it because there's no online way to play it and there's no way to obtain cards. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, that was a fun one game I played, or like 2 matches I played.
Yeah. And then you have your cards, I guess. Anyway,
Yeah, I have some useless, like they're definitely not worth anything.
maybe one day. You
It's the
never know.
Jinx starter deck, you know?
I guess that's true. But something that you can do, and you can play with other people, is actually Jeff and I are going to be playing in the main event for Magic Spotlight Eclipsed in Toronto, Canada, which is where we do our podcast, or at least where I do the podcast. Jeff's in Hamilton.
It's Toronto. Don't worry about it.
But anyway, sorry, that's just a slight dig. But it's hosted by Face to Face
If you're in
Games.
the U.S., think Buffalo. We're basically where Buffalo is.
Yeah, kind of. It's a little closer to like New York and New Jersey, kind of. It's a little bit more the vibe. Or I guess it's more like Manhattan and
Well, I just
Brooklyn.
meant geographically. We're like right next to Buffalo.
Sure. But as far as like culturally,
yeah.
I think it's more like
The
Manhattan.
Toronto
and, like,
Hamilton
Brooklyn
thing,
kind of
yeah. We're like the New Jersey, I guess, of
It's
to Toronto. to
something
New
like that in there. But anyway, Magic Spotlight Eclipsed. It's going to be awesome. I'm very excited. We're going to have tokens and stickers to give out, so find us if you're coming to the event. Check it out. It's going to be great. There's like the main event's it's going to sell out again. It already sold out once. They just added more seats. I think we're going to have like 1,800 people playing in this event,
Wow.
which is crazy. To day 2, luckily it's just like you have to get like 6 and 2 or better, and then you get to day 2.
That's all, eh? Just 6 and 2.
Yeah, but it's better than having to go like X1 or whatever. So
Right. Oh, I see. Because there's so many people, normally
yeah,
either there would be a crap ton of rounds or you would have to be basically XO to make.
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be sweet. And it's the best part is that it's sealed, and then the next day's draft. So like anyone,
It's like a classic limited GP.
yeah. And if you look at the other spotlights throughout the rest of the year, like this is the limited one. The other ones are like standard or modern. I think there's a team limited one for the Marvel superheroes one, which seems interesting. But this is like your classic thing. And yeah,
Oh, I'm so glad Toronto wasn't modern. Because a
It's-
lot of Toronto stuff ends up being modern, and I just can't participate in that.
yeah. I think Face to Face specifically chose it because they know that like limited ones you can just get more people. And because you don't
and
have
for
to.
Lorwyn and the first one of the year.
Yeah,
like,
it's gonna be.
perfect.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm psyched for this tournament.
It's gonna be awesome. So even if you're not playing the main event, come check it out. Like, there's real commentators. Like Corey Baumeister is gonna be there, and like Ailey, and like they're commentating the feature match. Like that's so cool. Like it's
I
gonna.
was going to say that makes me nervous, but they won't be commentating any of my matches, so unless I get randomly selected for the first one.
That probably not though. They'll probably pick somebody that they like know,
That's
right?
very unlikely. Like I would have to be matched. If I am, it means I'm paired against someone really fucking good. So that's a bad start to the day.
or it's a victory.
I'm paired against Seth Manfield. You know, like
Well, maybe he'll play sloppy enough that you can beat him. Hey, who knows?
yeah, he's known for that.
Yeah.
He's known for sloppy play. That's why they call him Sloppy Seth.
They do. That's a whole thing. It just that's exactly what has been going on in all the stuff. He's sloppy Seth now. It's still our world champion.
Yeah.
obviously fantastic and better than both of us. But, you know.
Yeah, but that's sloppy in like an angle shooting way, not sloppy in a poor play way.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Anyways, we don't have to get into all
We,
that.
we won't get into it because it's definitely old news. But anyway, it's going to be great. I'm very excited for that event. But before we get into Lorwyn, we're going to talk all about it next week. We're going to be picking all of our like favorite cards and doing all those preview things. I know it's preview like week this week. So by the time this episode comes out, all the previews will be out and everyone's talking about it. But we want to take some time and just reflect back on Avatar the Last Airbender and remember the happy times, remember the good times, and have a little toast. A little toast to this set because it deserves it. It does.
Yeah.
So, with that, Jeff, overall, what are your feelings towards Avatar the Last Airbender?
This is it was good. It's a good set. The limited I enjoyed. I actually slightly less thrilled on it for constructed.
Okay.
But if we're talking like limited, it was a good limited format. It was super flavorful from what I understand of. Like, I feel like I learned more about Avatar because the flavor kind of, the mechanics matched the show and what you've told me. And so then I'm like, oh, it's a cool sort of backwards thing where often I know about something and I'm like, oh, the way they did that was neat because it matches the way it works. And then this was like, oh, I know that the flavor's on point, so I can sort of figure out what the show's kind of about from the flavorful mechanics, which was more or less a first for me. Like everything else I at least had experience with. So that was kind of cool. And drafting, it just felt like drafting a good Magic set.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, not, I wouldn't say like an all-timer good draft format for me.
Okay.
But it was fine. It was good. I enjoyed it. And I played more of it than I normally do. And I thought it had, you know, what's sort of emerging for me as like a litmus test for is this a good draft format is how much does the format actually evolve, you know, in the meta. And I think bad formats just can't really support a meta.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like something's good this week and then not as good, and then something else is better next week. And I found this format had that. Like early on, people were playing a lot of specific archetypes, and then it, you know, the top decks kind of always emerge, but then what are the other decks going on? And this tends to happen when you have like a deck that's really good if you get the right pieces, but it can only support one drafter. And so if that falls in and out of favor, and this deck had that kind of draft synergy, like as well as any set I've seen, where it's like there are a couple guys that you always want to be if you can, but then what you fall back on is kind of changing as the meta evolves. And to me, that's just, it's never going to get stale when you have that.
Exactly. Like, I do think that...
Well, maybe not never, but not for the time period that we have for a new set.
Yeah, for the 2 months or 1 month that we're playing this, basically.
Yeah, the like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, the like, you know, pre-release weekend. But, no, I thought this was great. I've been very impressed this year, but with some of the Universes Beyond stuff that was like home run slam dunks, like this one felt great on a lot of levels. I don't think it's the best set of the year, but I did really like it, and I mean I got hyped for it. I watched the whole show just to play this set, and it delivered on all the stuff I had hoped for. I don't think there was a single thing that I was like, oh, where's this character, or why isn't this the way, like, why did they decide that this character or this card was going to do this thing or anything like that? Like, it all felt very like just fun, and I think that's the kind of the thing at the end of the day is that like it was really fun to play and draft, and I personally have kind of liked what has been going on in Standard. I haven't been playing a ton of it because point set baby, but I liked watching the World Championship and like seeing that there was like a new Avatar cards that were bringing back old stuff into the meta, like with the Grand and like the Lessons deck, and like having this different flavors of Is It. You don't like that. But I like the fact that they're like, hey, here's this card that came out earlier in the year that now has like resurfaced and can be played with a card from like earlier, and this all kind of like cobbles together into something that is new. It also feels nice because, you know, I once again am saying that like I was very excited about the Lessons and Accumulate Wisdom specifically, and the fact that it held up this entire, like, it was one of the main pieces of this deck, made me feel good. I think that's also that's a huge part of it, that I just feel smart, and I like feeling smart. So
Yeah, totally. For me, Lessons is almost one of the like weak points of the set. I didn't feel like it was that. The idea of it seemed cool and limited, but I didn't feel like it was actually that cool and limited in practice. And then you just have this deck that that I also don't think was fun. Like, because they kind of had to push it, right? And they made their choice. Let's make this standard playable.
mm-hmm.
And it I don't know, it's kind of parasitic archetypes like that. What's the best way to think about it? Like, okay, so the first thing I just want to say before we get to construct it
Mm-hmm.
is when we first started talking about this set, Azorius was the best deck in the draft format,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, I personally haven't felt that. I like Celestia and Boros better than Azorius.
Yeah.
And I would like to say that the final results are in and have vindicated me, as Celestia and Azorius absolutely dominated Azorius in the end, with a 57.2% win rate for those two decks, tied for first. The two decks I said were my favorite.
Jeff, what
And
did Azorius get? Yeah.
57.1.
Okay. Yeah. So 0.1.
But I remain vindicated. This is just as impressive a call as your Lessons being relevant and standard call, I would say. And
I mean, I was wrong in the sense that I thought it wasn't going to happen until Secrets of Strixhaven, but now maybe we're a little worried that Secrets of Strixhaven is going to make these Lessons like way too good. Like, what are we going to get in that set that's going to be like, hey, Lessons get juiced because we wanted to seed some of the stuff earlier? Or you're just pulling all these cards from your sideboard, because like maybe Avatar is all the Lessons and Secrets of Strixhaven is all the Learn cards.
yeah.
That could be
Lesson tutors.
Yeah. That would be...
Actually, that would make sense. They're all tutors that teach the lessons.
Mm-hmm.
And then
You have to use the Avatar cards for the Lessons. It would be a very interesting thing to do, but it would be very strange to be like, hey, in this... We're not really talking about Secrets of Strixhaven, but it would be strange to say in this draft set, like, hey, these cards that say Learn on them, they just loot. They don't actually go get anything because you can't get them. That would be a really weird choice by the design team.
I would say I wouldn't put it past them, but they're good at stuff like this. They're good at game design.
They're very good at game design. And this is like just reminding me, like, damn, I think like all the mechanics hit so hard. Like all the bendings just felt great. We said this immediately out of the gate. We were like, man, all of it feels pretty awesome. I know you were low on firebending, but I've still found situations where it's been really fun. I mean, I always liked it, but
it's just not my thing, I think.
But like it just, I don't know. It captured a lot of what I was hoping it would, and yeah. It's just I still am playing it even though Cube is out right now. I'm still coming back and drafting this set. So
yeah, I think as a draft format, it's very successful, especially for Universes Beyond. And it didn't, again, like I said this the first time, it didn't feel like I wasn't playing a Magic set. You know, even though this is the most sort of like distinct and non-Magic flavor or like, you know, art we've had so far. So they've kind of been like very, very
Fantasy.
Magic adjacent fantasy and just kind of getting further and further away. And this felt fine. Actually, part of my criticism in Constructed is I feel that more in Constructed. So I played a lot of Standard just kind of for fun on the break. And so the first thing is that power level wise, this set is huge. This is like a bunch of Standard staples for their time in Standard. I think comparable to Bloomborough in its power level. Like there's a lot of stuff here that it's just, and there's a lot of stuff that's kind of just like a stronger version of something that we had before. So like you never played the previous version anymore. But that's kind of like the overall thing you need to know about this set is like it really, really strong cards. Maybe not quite to Bloomborough's level, which was literally like almost every card in that set is crazy good.
Yeah, I was gonna say that feels pretty intense because Bloomborough just like was just so much.
So juiced. But this set is definitely the strongest set since Bloomborough for Standard. And the way they decided to kind of allot that power level is in, you know, like, should one of the best cards, or maybe even the best card in Standard, be Boomerang Basics? And you're almost never using it to bounce your opponent's stuff? Is that where we want our power to be?
Well, I think this is just a deck archetype that you don't maybe like very much because Wizards loves it. They've been printing so many cards.
Well, okay, that is part of my overall criticism is I'm getting tired of every single format of Magic. The best thing to be doing is blue-red cycle through your deck and don't really do anything else.
It has been.
That's always the best deck in every format.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Does it have to be the best deck in Standard too?
Yeah.
This is the third iteration of blue-red cycle through your own shit and win the game as a side effect of your cycling through your own deck. This is the third iteration of that after they banned 2 iterations of it in Standard, and then they just printed a new one. And it's like, why does this have to be the best deck? Why?
Well,
I could go play fucking Modern or Pioneer or something older if I really want to just cycle through my deck and incidentally win.
First of all, you can't play Pioneer because they don't let you do that anymore.
Right, it doesn't. I forgot that format doesn't actually.
Except
exist.
for I think
but Phoenix wouldn't be the best deck if that was a format.
I think technically Pioneer is like the qualifier for like this month on Arena, but it's like
yeah, sure. Phoenix is gonna win it.
But I will say
because of Boomerang Basics.
that it's a really good call out that. Usually is it or some sort of spells thing tends to be one of the strongest things in a lot of different formats. And it's just proving that Standard is so huge that we end up continuing to fall into the same patterns of is it spells is really good. Because there's so many innocuous little cards, those like so many we just have so many options for like all the different cards that go through your deck, all the ones that like let you cantrip or do different things like that. And this is kind of just the result of there's too many sets in Standard.
But that's why this one bugs me in particular. I agree with what you're saying, that we are feeling the effects of 3-year Standard now, where by lengthening Standard, you just get into this framework of like, if most of your deck is air that finds the good stuff in your deck, maybe that's just kind of how Magic works. Like you want to just get to your good stuff as quickly as possible. They banned 2 iterations of this, and then this printed a collection of parasitic cards in just this color combo that is the best deck. Like, Is It Looting is not the best deck. This specifically is. So it's like they banned it, and then they juiced it just in case anyone wanted to play a non-blue-red deck.
I will say I wish that with lessons in particular that some of the lessons from the other colors were a little bit better.
Were any of them any good at all? Like
It was like the green ones feel like they were for Commander, because it's like, here's another rampant growth and here's another harrow. But like, if we had white and black ones that are a bit more interesting, it would be cool to see lesson decks. They're like, oh, but if you did add black to that, it would actually make the deck better. Just you can't do the mana for it or whatever. Or it's like, oh, should you play blue-black lessons over this other thing instead of blue-red is the obvious choice. There's no other reason to do any other color combination for lessons. Which is obviously, on purpose. Like, they wanted that to be that thing. And it works better for limited, and I get all that stuff. But...
and part of it is, like, Storm Chaser's talent, too. Like, Boomerang Basics is not as good without Storm Chaser's talent.
That's a Blue Girl card, all right? So get...
Yeah, it always is, right? Like, Artist's talent also, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but Storm Chaser's talent, I think, is kind of the big one. Because, like, every blue deck now, why would you not start that with 4 Storm Chaser's talent, 4 Boomerang Basics? Like, it feels like you're just making a mistake if you don't start a blue deck that way. But I was saying, because of these cards are so good and they're everywhere, it does kind of, but it's not the whole set. I do kind of notice the, like, oh, this is like a kind of different
art style,
aesthetic,
right?
Or because most of it's Bloomburrow, and then it's like 60% Bloomburrow and 40% Avatar, and you're just like, oh yeah. It does feel a bit out of place when everything else that's going on is like high fantasy.
Yeah.
And then this is a little more, I don't know if anime is the right word, but I feel like it's more in that direction.
Yeah, I don't think I would necessarily group it in with anime, but I know what you're saying. Like, I know what you mean.
Like, not to the point where it feels like a different card game or whatever, but I do feel it more than I thought I would, to be honest. And maybe if I'd played in paper and I was seeing, like, Spider-Man cards actually show up, I would have felt that already.
Yeah.
Like, that burden would have been bared. But because they had, like, a Magic-themed Spider-Man for everything I've played, this is really the first time I'm interacting with something that isn't kind of just a fantasy setting showing up, and it's showing up a lot because the cards are good.
Yeah, and I think that's just something that's going to keep happening in Magic.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And
I just wanted to say, because when I was playing Limited, I was like, I don't feel that this is not a Magic set at all. But when it's like interspersed with
other stuff, for sure,
cards that are more traditional Magic, I do feel it a little more. Like, I just want to acknowledge that. It's not that it ruins the experience for me or anything.
It's just a different experience.
It makes me hate them even more. But it is something I felt. I could sort of feel it at a visceral level.
It'll definitely feel like that when we get Ninja Turtles, and then Marvel Superheroes is going to be another Through the Omen Path set. Like, it's not tech official, but like it is.
Right, because it's all legal stuff, right? If they had to do it for Spider-Man, unless they were able to resolve that,
no way,
before in that short period before development.
No, it's got to be Marvel Snap is just like not budging, because like, why would they? So
yeah, exactly. I can't imagine what Wizards would do to convince them if they weren't able to do it for Spider-Man. Right?
I will say real quick, I've been playing Marvel Snap because of multiple reasons. When you have a kid, if you don't have one, they need to fall asleep and you need to rock them, and you can't use both your hands to play games on your phone. Magic on your phone is great, but you kind of need 2 hands because it's sideways or whatever. So I've been playing Marvel Snap so that I can stay awake while I'm doing this in the middle of the night. And coming back to that game, or a digital-only game, after being gone for a while, and realizing a bunch of cards have changed costs and or abilities is really confusing. It is very annoying. And
so you kind of get the like new Magic player experience of like, I played this game once a long time ago, and now I'm playing it again, and it's different, and I don't like that.
Yeah. There's also this thing in Marvel Snap where like you can't get cards that you want unless you play a bunch, And like there's just like it's just this really annoying thing that's supposed to like stop you from like winning because you have money. But it's like, yeah, but like I have the deck that they have, but they have access to cards I can't get, and there's no way for me to get them in the way that you kind of want me to get them. I don't even know how to buy them. Like, it's really confusing. So I'm just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But which is actually, you know, it's the perfect game for me because I don't give a shit about it. So as soon as your baby cries, you can just throw your phone and you're like, that match is done. I don't care. Which is perfect for what I'm trying to do. But
that was it for me. The last time I played Marvel Snap was when my first son was a baby, a newborn. And I used to take him down at like 4 or 5 in the morning whenever he'd get up, let my wife sleep, and I'd take him downstairs, just let him sleep on my chest while usually I'd read a book, but sometimes I'd play Marvel Snap. And that was it's like, why don't I play Arena? The main thing was Arena, you have to commit like 10 minutes, probably, maybe
at least
10 to 20, depending. And I cared if I lost, whereas Marvel Snap, games are like a minute, a couple minutes, and if he wakes up and he's crying and I have to put the phone down, I just don't care, and I just do it. That was the main appeal of it. Was that I didn't care about it, which is weird.
Yeah.
But I do remember I would often lose to just some like card that I was like, well, I don't have that one, so good job.
Also, I will say, recently there was a bug where, like, every time I tried to click on my opponent's cards to read what it did, it would quit the app, and I'd have to reload.
Oh, that's a rough bug.
And so then I just, like, stopped reading my opponent's cards, because I was like, I can't keep doing
That's
this.
a pretty critical bug. They must have been in like emergency fire mode over at the Marvel Snap team.
I don't know if it was just my phone or what it was, but it kept happening, and I realized it was whenever I clicked on a card to read it. And I was like, all right, stop reading cards. Perfect. I'm great at that. Yeah, and it's also one of those things where it's like, I think that Magic or Arena with their best of one queues kind of want to have that, fast paced, play the game. That's not why I like Magic, really. I like Magic because it's more in depth and I care. And let me play another card game that sucks. Sorry, Marvel Snap fans out there, but they are a thorn in my side for Magic related stuff recently because of all the licensing crap. So I enjoy playing the game for what it is, but like, whatever. I wish that this wasn't a whole freaking thing. I wish it was just, why can't we have it? The games are so different. Can't we just have their cards too? Whatever. Anyway,
I don't really. I'm not into Marvel enough to really care. If it's Marvel cards, it's Marvel cards.
No,
the difference between standard or like Arena and paper is a little annoying, but I mostly just don't play paper anymore.
Well, I mean, I think that issue is so huge, because I just want everyone to come together. I don't want to talk to people and be like, was it Superior Spider-Man? Oh, Cavero. Right. Like, I don't want that in the game. The game is already so confusing, and there's so many new artworks for cards. I don't need new names for the same card. Like, come on. Let's just cool our jets a little bit. But that's what's so great about Avatar. We actually got all the licensing for it. Isn't that funny that we should be excited that the Universes Beyond product, we have all the licensing for it for the digital products? That's crazy. Hey, we have it. That's great. Anyway, Jeff, we talked about a lot about stuff, but we do need to go back and look at our Pack Zero Pick Ones to see who's on top, who picked the right cards at the beginning of the set. Jeff, can you just do a very quick run through of what our Pack Zero Pick Ones are, and as far as the game, not what they are, but.
Yeah. So Pack Zero Pick 1 is a game that we play at the start of a set before you actually get to play with the cards, although Zach is a little fast and loose with this one.
No, okay. I'm interrupting you. I never pick cards after I've played them. Okay, there was that one time, but that's because you couldn't record and we had to do the episode after the pre-release. Okay? So that's not my fault. All right, whatever. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I believe you. So what we do is we try to pick the best common in each color. And then, since that's really hard to do, and you probably have a few that you're like, oh, I don't know, you get 2 miscellaneous commons as well to choose on top of that. They could be of any color. And then you try to pick the best gold signpost uncommon. So these are like, there's 10 of them usually. There's, they tell you kind of what that archetype is supposed to do. And then, just as a tiebreaker, although it's almost statistically impossible that it comes to this, but you choose the best rare. And so what you do at the end, after the end of the draft format, like now, you go to 17lands.com, you look at the game in hand win rate, which is kind of the community accepted best stat for good card in the set, and you add up all the win rates for all the cards you picked, and you get your total, and whoever's is higher wins.
That's right. Also, Jeff likes to ask Gemini before he does his picks what Gemini thinks, and then he decides which ones he's going to use for his picks.
Yes, I copy Gemini because Gemini's so good at it.
Gemini is, well, this is a joke because Gemini sucks, is so bad at Magic. And
This one was particularly bad. I feel like last time Gemini wasn't quite this bad, but this one, I was almost laughing when I saw what it picked.
it's
like,
atrocious.
What?
It's atrocious.
Yeah.
So we usually don't actually outline this perfectly, but I did think it would be interesting just to know, like, if you wanted a perfect score, like all the things that you needed to do, these are the cards that you would have picked in order. So for white, you would have picked Path to Redemption, then in Wooburg order, Lost Days, Sold Out, Firebending Lesson, Ostrich Horse. All right, that's bizarre. And then both of your miscellaneous cards had to be Idlequentia and Watery Grasp. And then your signpost uncommon would be Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper. For a total of like 462.6 percentage points. But like those are not all the ones that we picked. I mean, like, it's obviously we didn't get a perfect
Those
score.
are not the ones that I picked.
I didn't pick all the perfect ones.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting to see some of this stuff. Like some of them you're like, okay, I can see that. It's not crazy, but it does. I don't think we've ever had a set where we're like, all right, both of my miscellaneous cards are going to be the same color. They just be like, all right, I'm picking 3 blue cards. Let's go. You know, that is not something we've really done.
Because on the reality is if you've ever tried this exercise, like it's almost impossible. Like
It's so
just
hard.
reading cards. So what you have to do is rely on things you've seen in the past, and also a little bit of like game theory, trying to strategize. Like if I go all in on green, pick all green cards, and then green is the worst color,
I lose.
then I'm gonna lose for sure. And if green is just okay, I probably won't do well either. Like the only scenario where that works for you is if green is indeed the best color. So you would have to have a lot of like confidence that green is the best color to do something like that. And it's so hard to have that confidence when you haven't played with any of the cards. Sometimes I play like a couple drafts and I'm like, whoa, I done screwed those picks up.
That happens.
You know, you realize right away the cards you picked don't quite work the way you thought they should.
Yes.
Or like the synergies that you were hoping would, elevate your pick just aren't really there.
Yeah, or you just pick the worst deck. You're like, oh, this deck's going to be the best, and it's horrible. Or vice versa.
Sometimes I literally like misread cards, and I'm like, oh, shouldn't have picked that one. I thought this card was way better than it actually is.
Yeah, I've done entire set reviews for sets, and then when it came down to picking my pack 0 pick 1, I misread a card. But then I go back in my set review and I read it and talked about it correctly, but then just forgot by the time I did this. It's very hard. It's a very hard game.
And then you have so much information to parse that you just like, I think it's just too much to actually think about it all, really. So there's a lot of shortcuts happening in your brain. And so like you mentioned Ostrich Horse, right?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking really early on when I actually read that card, I was like, I should have picked this. Like, this is my classic kind of card that I always pick.
That's true.
And I just, like, didn't see it, I guess. I don't know. Like, if I had read it and, like, internalized this was a card in the set, I'm confident I would have at least picked it as a miscellaneous, just because I like those kinds of cards.
I just thought you
But
didn't pick it because it was 3 mana. Like,
yeah, that must have been like
Your
the
shortcut.
auto filter in my brain being like, no, cards like this need to be 2 mana or something, right? Because I didn't even remember it really being on my radar.
Yeah.
And then I actually played with it, and I was like, how did I not pick this card?
yeah.
You know? I was
Yeah,
like, this is exactly my type of card. How did I not pick it?
And it's also the kinds of things, like, both of us picked Firebending Lesson as the best. Well, yeah, we picked Firebending Lesson, whether it was our red one or not. Doesn't really.
Sometimes there's a layup. You know? Sometimes there's an easy one.
And then we also had Lightning Strike that was also in the set. And you're like, well, you can't not pick Lightning Strike because you know it's going to be good, right? So, like,
Right.
it's so hard to just be like, I'm not going to pick Lightning Strike and Firebending Lesson. You're like, you have to, because
And to not do that, you would have to be confident that red is bad, I think.
which seems weird because those cards are in red at common, right? So
True. Yeah.
it's a very difficult to parse.
It's such a hard game, but it's fun.
It's super fun. So
And it makes me respect the content creators who, like yourself, make these set reviews and, like, put themselves out there as, like, hey, this is what I'm saying, and you're probably going to be super wrong on a lot of stuff.
So this is one of the things I wanted to point out. So I was really high on Forecasting Fortune Teller. Really good blue 2-drop, makes a clue. Awesome. Wasn't one of the top. It was the 4th best blue common. I thought it was going to be the best blue common. But it wasn't part of the perfect score, which to me feels wild. But
Yeah.
in my set review, I had talked about how great Messenger Hawk was also going to be. Because Messenger Hawk is a 3-mana card that comes down. It has flying and it makes a clue. I was like, no matter what, I just want cards that make clues. I'm really happy with that. And I did have some comments that were saying, like, you are way too high on Messenger Hawk. I think I gave it like a C+ or a B. And people were just like, that card's going to be not good enough. And you're way too high on Messenger Hawk. And it's like it's like C+ borderline into like the B range territory as far as like grades go. And I was doubting myself, and so I didn't pick it as a miscellaneous or anything because of a comment that I had, and I was like, oh, they're probably right. Yeah, I shouldn't listen to them. Now, to be fair, my miscellaneous cards were pretty good, so I'm not going to say that like I should have picked it instead. But
You did fine.
it's very easy to be like, I think this thing, and then someone says something else, and then you're like, oh, I got to rethink my whole thing. And then you come back at the end, you're like, no, I should be fine. Why was I doubting myself? So it's so hard.
And I guess that's kind of part of my point too, right? It's like everyone thinks they could do it, right? But it's so hard to have until you actually try. You put pen to paper, don't play the cards, make predictions, then play the cards, and then see at the end. Until you actually go through that exercise, you don't quite realize what it's like, because I guess we're kind of saying the same thing. It's really hard to have confidence in your picks.
Exactly.
You can make some picks and like generate opinions based on having played a lot of limited. But if someone challenges you on it, you're like, I'm not holding this opinion that strongly because I've never played with the card. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, so it's really easy to push me off my opinion on these
Exactly.
things.
Yeah. And one of the reasons why we're kind of harping on this a lot
Because
is
I'm
we
like,
are
I don't
going
know,
to
maybe it's the worst card ever. You're right. Maybe it's awful.
Yeah. and we are going to be playing this game like next week. We're playing this for Lorwyn. So like we're looking at all the commons. We're going to do it. So you should play along with us. Also, I forgot to say this at the beginning. This isn't something that we made up or we invented.
Yeah, we shouldn't. take
Magic
that.
Data Science came up with it. They're on Twitter and Blue Sky. They make a great Google Doc. They keep track of everything. There's graphs. It's awesome. Go check it out. But honestly, it's a really rewarding game. And it feels really great when you do really well. So I don't want to spend too much time
I'll take your word for it.
going over the little nitty-gritty things. But the things that really mattered as far as like me and Jeff's head-to-head is that we both picked the best red and black commons, which are usually some of the easier ones because they're always like removal spells. Almost always.
Efficient removal, usually it's the winner.
So we both picked Sold Out and Firebending Lesson. We both picked Lightning Strike. But one of the cards that kind of pushed Jeff off of stuff, or really was like the decision maker, was the gold signpost uncommon. And when I say push Jeff off, I'm saying I won. I won by like 2 points or 3 points. Like it was
3.3 points.
Yeah, thank you for Dr. Math telling me. I don't do that. But this was like, it was, the gold signpost can be really difficult. Like, I picked Dragonfly Swarm, which, I mean, obviously you didn't pick it because you hate lessons. So, like, lessons are what you hated most about this set. So why would you pick the blue-red card?
Yeah. I don't even think I had internalized lessons at all when I had read through the... I was like, I don't know. That's a thing that I can't possibly predict if it's going to matter.
Totally.
I'm just going to... Yeah.
Of course. But Dragonfly Swarm, the card that cares about having a bunch of instants and sorceries in your graveyard, if there's a lesson in your graveyard, you get to, and when it dies, you get to draw a card like as flying. Yeah, it's just pretty sweet card, but it was just like the fourth best gold signpost, which feels rough. And the fact that the one that you picked wasn't better, it also feels wild to me, because every time I see that when I'm drafting, I'm like, oh, I should take this card.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because, like, it's one of the best decks, and that actually was kind of what I was saying. It's like, I think blue-white flyers or whatever is just going to be good, just the blue-white deck. But I picked the wrong one. The other blue-white signpost uncommon is better. This was a bit of a risk because, like, I don't know, just I'm learning with this. You should usually default to a creature.
Yeah.
Versus an enchantment. Like, an enchantment is always a risky pick, I think, unless it's removal. And this is not removal enchantment, so...
Well, the other one... yeah, but, like, the second best gold signpost... Sorry, so, quickly, the one that you picked was the Azorius one. It's, like, the anthem for flyers, and it makes a cool token.
I picked Air Nomad Legacy.
But the second best gold signpost, like the best one was Foggy Swamp Spirit Keeper, which is a creature that really cares about drawing 2 cards in a turn. But Tolls of War was the second best gold signpost, and that is an enchantment that also comes down and makes a clue and is very synergy based, and you need to have other stuff going on. So, like, maybe it was because that deck was...
That's what I mean, right? Like, I think it was a risk, and it's just a risk that didn't pay off here.
Yeah.
Like, what you're saying when you pick something like this is that, like, people are only going to play this card when it's good, therefore its win rate is going to be high.
Yes, which I
think is kind of what's going on with Tolls of War. It doesn't just go into any black-white deck. It goes into black-white decks that
specifically, yes, can do this. Like, and that's the reason I picked the Dragonfly Swarm was just kind of like nice, but you did have to have spells and stuff to really care. And I feel like people would throw the Air Nomad Legacy into a bunch of stuff just because they're like, well, flyers are good, and this has got to be good, right? And that just... kind of plummets the thing. That's gaming the system. This game is so hard, guys. Yeah. Except for me.
That's the game theory aspect I was talking about, right? And sometimes you can, like, overthink yourself, right? Where you're just like, there's these synergies, and I got to remember 17 lands data is usually stronger players, so they're going to know how to take advantage. And then you're like, I picked a shitty card. Why'd I do that? Yeah. Like, I made it too complicated.
If you've ever played fantasy football, like, this is exactly the same thing. Like, this is what we're, like, you go back and forth on stuff all the time.
Yeah, everyone in the league knows everything about football except my wife, who wins.
Your wife won our a fantasy league this year for the first time, but she always like makes the playoffs.
She's always competitive.
She's very good.
This
She's
is
always
the
at the
first
top.
win.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
love to have her in the league. She's fantastic.
The best thing is she refers to everybody by like the first initial of their first name, then their last name.
Oh,
because that's how it shows up in the app.
Right.
But she's had Drake London enough times that she's like Drake London. I'm like, wow, he's been upgraded from D London. She's like, yes, he's Drake London.
Yeah, that's so funny because he almost lost her the championship. If he like,
I know. I was like, of course it comes down to D London.
yeah,
of course
for the Monday game, but anyway,
I was advising her to pull him, but she thought that was unethical for some reason. I was like, just bench him. You're winning.
I mean that is smart, but
then she was worried about a stat correction. To be fair, which is a real concern. She was up by like 0.1 point.
Yes, yeah, that's very true. So yeah. Anyway, for this game, I won, and if we go back and think about all the ones from this last year, we're tied. We can't have these years with like even numbered sets. This isn't fair for our whole packs.
They need to do 7 sets per year.
Yeah,
that's the only way to fix it.
I was gonna say 5, but we could do 7. That's fine. So, which
it's like children. More is always better.
You need balance. I was literally on the walk today talking about balance with my wife, just like because we're looking at like we're going through the park and there's water everywhere, and like all the grass is ice because it was snow and then it melted and then it iced up and now it's melting everywhere. It's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Like worst time to go through the park.
It's the grossest part of Canadian weather, I find, is when like you get that slushy melted ice snow with like it's polluted by like vehicles somehow.
Oh yeah, it's awful. I will say, first of all, that's
brown.
like feels very Toronto-esque to me, because the snow in Colorado, where I grew up, like it's much drier, so it's like it's very powdery, and that's why people like it for skiing and stuff. But like you will get nasty, snow from the road, but like it's not nearly as slushy as this place, because of the moisture and all this stuff. It's like, ugh, this is so. Anyway,
Ottawa was more like Colorado because they get so much more snow.
Sure,
like just when it's spring, do you
days.
get that slushy gross
For like a couple
at
weeks.
the start of spring?
Yeah, that's what Colorado.
But
was
Toronto, it seems to come and go.
It's just like it's every snowfall. There's like slushy shit or like way too much salt everywhere, and then you're just like,
oh yeah, so much salt.
it's stuck in your boots. Ugh. Anyway, Pack Zero pick 1. We're 3-3 for 2025. That's fine. We can just say that happened.
It's almost like it's a coin flip.
Hey. Except for, I know that if we did a coin flip, I would pick heads and you would pick tails. That's how we roll.
Tails never fails.
Yeah, except for when it does half of the time.
It's almost usually tails.
It's got to be. I will say, thank God we both just absolutely crushed Gemini, because
that was a no-brainer after Gemini's picks this time. But even my paltry score beat Gemini by 10.5 points.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Gemini picked 3 of the land cyclers. You should have
loved land cyclers. It was so high on them.
Yeah. It should have. You should have known that Air Nomad Legacy was not going to do well because Gemini picked it.
I know. But I had already picked, so it was like, I picked some of the shittiest.
Guys, that's what he says. That's what he
picked.
says. He let Gemini pick after him. Maybe next week.
Yeah, I saw Gemini's awful picks, and I was like, you know what? I think it's right about that uncommon.
Do you think next week we should say what Gemini's picks were first and then do ours?
Yeah.
Just be like, this is okay. This is the shitty one. No, to be fair, it is better when it's.
It'd be
last.
kind of funny because it'd be like, oh shit, I picked the same thing as Gemini.
Yeah, that is true.
I would say we should do it live, but it's a lot of work to get Gemini to output these predictions because it misreads cards and it's like, this card's amazing because it costs 1 mana. And I'm like, that card costs 5 mana, dude. Like,
on.
It would be incredible if it costs 1 mana. I would have picked it too, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Though, now that I think about it for literally 1 second, it's better when it's last.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Jeez.
Sometimes thinking about things for 1+ seconds really helps.
It's really
and
nice.
I need to learn that when I play Magic because sometimes I make a play and I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Really shouldn't have done that. If I'd thought about that for any amount of time, wouldn't have done it.
That's what I feel like when I'm editing videos and I'm watching myself play. I'm like, oh, this is the play. I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, that's how I lost that game.
Yeah, because I just made an awful play.
Just a horrible play. Anyway, Jeff, we have some more stuff to look back on. It's really important. That's what this is for. We have to stay accountable for what we say at the beginning of our set cycle. We have some worthless slots. What are we doing with our worthless slots, Jeff? We're looking back on some cards that we thought were worth a slot.
Yes, so if Pack 0 Pick 1 is our predictions for Limited, worthless slots are our predictions for Constructed. And we frame this as it's worth a slot in your deck, meaning if you're excited about this card, you want to spend some wild cards on it, do so with varying degrees of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And the way we frame it is we have a layup. This is a sure thing. It's going to be a good card. Feel free to craft it. 3-pointers are like, it's a good card. If you're into this kind of thing, you craft it, but understand it might not materialize.
Yeah.
The deck around it just might not be as good as it seems. Half court is something that realistically they just tend to be cards that we know they're bad, but we wish they were good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tell you what cards are overrated and what cards are underrated, so that
You can look out for them.
just so that so you know,
Yeah,
so you don't get fooled by the hype
it's true.
or lack of hype.
Well, Jeff, I just have to say my layup. It actually, it's funny because when we look back on it, it still feels like a layup. It was definitely part of the metagame and still is part of the metagame, but not the big piece I thought it was going to be. I don't think that means that it's not worth crafting. I think it is worth your mythic wildcards. But Badger Mole Cub dominated, dunked on people early in the when the set came out. It was everywhere, and people were worried about bans and things. And come to the World
Always
Championship, not really making waves. Everybody was prepared for it. It was it was the card that let Grand sing. Without Badger Mole Cub, Grand would have, probably, okay. I don't think Grand would have been a glaring target, but maybe more people would have put thought into Grand stuff as opposed to, how do I make sure I can deal with Badger Mole Cub decks early, and everybody just made sure that they could do that, and then that card is just not good if everybody is metagaming against it. So
Yeah, it's still fine. And a lot of decks that I think are metagame decks are built around this card. Obviously the landfall decks. Golgari midrange has kind of made a comeback, I think, in large part to this card because they already like to play Llanowar Elves, and it's just such a natural pairing. My actual, if I had to pick, now I haven't played in a few weeks, so in a couple weeks, probably since actually around the holiday season, so in a few weeks. My actual pick, if you'd asked me then what the best deck in the format actually is, I think I would have picked this green-white, oh god, what's the name of the card that lets you play lands from your graveyard? Have you seen this deck? It's crazy good.
Oh,
and it was all over
you're
the
talking
ladder
about
for a while.
the one from Edge of Eternities?
Yes.
the-
And then it combos with the Harmonizer.
Yeah.
That deck is super, super robust. And, like, Badger Mole Cub's a big part of that deck.
Right.
And I think that, that was such an interesting deck because I saw it posted on Reddit during the, when VV decks were going crazy. And this guy was like, it was just kind of, I don't know what his credentials were or their credentials were. And they just posted being like, I just keep winning with this deck. And, like, here's collection of MTGO tournaments that are, like PTQs and stuff that I just keep winning with. And here's my latest build. And then there's a bunch of comments like, oh, that's cool, whatever. And then a couple other people perform really well at some tournament. I just, like, have seen this deck for months. And then recently, I think, like, Ross Miriam won some tournament with it.
Oh, okay.
And now it's just like, oh, everyone plays it. And I was like, this is so funny because I read about this deck like 2 months ago. Craft had it cloned or in my
Right.
arena. I just hadn't crafted it yet to try it. And for whatever reason, I just I wanted to work on my own thing or whatever. But I always had it sitting there being like, this would be a really cool deck to try. And some rando on Reddit claims it's good. And then now everyone's like, this deck is so good. Where has it been? I was like, I could have had like a 2-month head start on everyone if I just believed Reddit rando. Of course, you can't believe all Reddit randos.
You can't.
That's where they get you.
You can't.
But,
so...
but no, that deck is super cool and reliant on Badger Mole Cub as well. So I think it's totally reasonable to say you scored this.
Yeah, it was definitely. I really think it's worth a slot. I just it's not the same as like the obvious. Like I picked
the main thing going against it is that it's not blue or red.
That is
which
true.
Means it's bad.
And it's green also because throughout the last few years, it feels like every time you pick a green card, you're like, "What are you doing? Why would you pick green cards?" So
yeah, so unlikely to be good.
Jeff, your layup. What are we looking at?
Yeah, like I'd say yours is more successful than mine, but mine is still a card that sees play.
Totally.
And I picked Wan Shi-Tong.
So good.
It's a little more like specific. I think yours is kind of like I go in every green deck.
Yeah, build around. Yeah.
And this one is like, not every blue deck wants Wan Shi-Tong. Although I have seen it even in lessons, so I don't know if that's like becoming tech or just like not. There's just a few people, like a specific list or whatever. I think it's kind of like in their sideboards, maybe. I think the main thing going against Wan Shi-Tong is like you already have Quantum Riddler as like your big sort of blue flyer top end thing,
yeah.
and most of these decks just would prefer Quantum Riddler because every card in their deck says draw cards.
Yeah.
And it can help accelerate that. But you still see it. So, I'm not unhappy with this choice. Like, if you're playing the, like, Jeskai control decks that are popular, but I maintain still not good. But, you're going to want at least one copy of this in there. Maybe 1+1 kind of deal. So, yeah. It wasn't, probably should have picked, like, Boomerang Basics or something.
But the Worthless Slots is so hard to pick, like, uncommons, though.
Because it's like, you don't need us to tell you it's okay to craft a non-rare.
Exactly.
Just craft it.
Yeah, so these are really specifically, we're talking about rares. Like, in the past, we have picked uncommons and stuff, but, like, yeah, picking... maybe we need to find a new space for, like, what the uncommons are, but, like... Yeah, no one's hard up for uncommon wildcards, It's all the rares and mythics. And I think this is totally worth crafting as well. Like, I would not feel bad about having 4 copies of Wan Shi-Tong. So, I still think that this is worth playing, and it's one of the ones that's like, oh, is this a deck where I can fit Wan Shi Tong into? Because it's so fun and so just so strong, and it fits into your, because it can flash and you can fit it into whatever whatever moment that you need it to be. We just might have to wait a little bit till we can find the right deck for it, or it'll give some juice to something else that wants to do some flashy stuff. So I like Wan Shi Tong, and I think that's totally worth crafting still. I'll craft it now.
Yeah. By the way, so the Ice Till Explorer is the card I was trying to
Ice Till Explorer.
discuss earlier. And yeah, the whole deck is built around Ice Till Explorer. Obviously, milling Esper Origins is nice, and then Might Form Harmonizer, which is the one that
Doubles up the powers.
doubles power when lands enter, and Ice Till lets you play multiple lands a turn, but also out of your graveyard. So with like a Fabled Passage, you could trigger the Might Form like 4 times, because the Fabled Passage and then sack it, and then Fabled Passage again and then sack it.
Yeah.
And so you get these like instant kills out of
Just
multiplying something's power by 16.
which is a lot.
Yeah. And it plays like Lumbering World Wagon too, so if that's the creature that it goes off again. Yeah, it's just a deck that I saw a while ago and was like, oh, that's cute, I should probably play that. And then I was losing to it a few months later, just all the time. And it's funny how that works, right? Like, there's always a deck that is like a meme or is cute one week, and then a few weeks later you're like, oh, this deck is so broken. How could they not see that this deck would be broken?
The magic thing, how it goes. But yeah, absolutely.
Makes me think of that deck that brought all the lands back. With that elf that would bring all the lands back.
I loved that deck. I thought that deck was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that was cute because it only stuck around for a little while before rotation, I think, kind of killed it.
It was perfect because we had it for like 6 months, and then rotation rotated out all the lands, and you couldn't play the deck anymore.
Yeah. And I don't think it was discovered like even right away. So there was only like a few month period where you were losing to that deck. And it went from, oh, that's, yeah, sure. And then it went to like, I can't believe I lost to that deck. But cool for my opponent for playing it. And then to like, oh my God, this deck again, I can't possibly beat it. It's so strong.
But it's like, that is the kind of deck that you can seed and expect to have, like, there's a possibility of being like, whether the designers knew about it or not, or could think, oh, here's a card that like combos with these lands that we had from a couple sets ago, or like a couple years ago. We can have it for this short amount of time. It's just impossible to do that with the amount of sets we have these days. Like, there's just way too many things going on that you can't try to seed a really strong deck for 6 months or for 4 months or whatever. Like, that part of standard is gone. You can just be like, well, we're juicing this, hoping that it comes with this set, but it's so hard to be able to be like, oh, well, we worked on this set a year ago, and now the next year we're going to try to add these cards to it. It just feels like, well, it just feels like you were saying before, where it's, hey, we really like this one effect, let's just keep adding this effect over and over again. What if we made a 1-mana card that bounces something back to your hand, and then the next year we still make we make a 2-mana card that does it, but it's just like, it just keeps happening over and over again. It's just like, I can't. I don't need this many of this effect.
Yeah.
So.
And the more you do that, like, I don't know, like for this deck, even that I'm talking about, the landfall deck, like, there's a lot of ways to interact with it.
Yeah.
And that return all lands thing gets hosed by a well-timed graveyard hate. It's my main criticism of the Lessons deck, is like, I never really knew what to sideboard against it. There was always things that were okay, but you never want it to over sideboard because then you just lose to whatever.
Anything. Yeah.
And it's just like, this is what I don't like. Like, this is a graveyard deck that Graveyard Hate is bad against. This is a deck that relies on artifacts and enchantments that, like, doesn't care that much if you play a Rec Sage. It's just like, I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing here, other than just losing while my opponent just takes the majority of the time, because their turns are just them cycling through their deck.
You know what would be good against that deck? Mill their deck.
But they don't make that a reasonable possibility anymore, right? Like, they don't actually give you... It's always the classic, like, oh, should I play Mill against a deck that wants cards in their graveyard? Oh, that's fun tension. Except that the Mill deck fucking sucks, and that deck is going to kill you.
It is true. But if you can get, like, their deck draws so many cards, and, like, some of their win conditions are just drawing a bunch of cards, that you're like, if you don't have any cards in your library anymore, you can't kill me, and you also lose. But, yes.
And the thing I hate is, like, sometimes I bring in anti-lesson, like, maybe even my Mill plan, right? And then they're just, like, otter on turn 1, otter on turn 2. Attack you for, like, 6 next turn. It's like, oh, I guess I'm just going to lose to a stupid fucking couple of 1/1s with prowess. And then Boomerang Basics this, play it again. Boomerang Basics that, play it again. Attack you for 7. You're like, oh, so all the stuff I sideboarded in actually doesn't do anything against the draw that you happen to have this game.
That is true. Yeah. Anyway, Jeff, what was your three-pointer?
Should I side in ways to kill cheap creatures? Probably not.
Jeff, let's get back on track.
Fuck that thing.
Okay. I get it. What's your three-pointer? Give it to me straight.
It was Earth King's Lieutenant, which I think the Allies deck was a thing when this set first dropped. People were actually playing Allies to reasonable effect. And I don't really see it anymore. But
yeah. Like, I'm going to piggyback on this because mine was also an Allies card. I picked South Pole Voyager. And I do think when the set came out, they were worth picking up. They were worth crafting. Yeah. It was a deck worth playing. Not so much anymore, especially because we're kind of going into a new set. Like, you don't want to use any wild cards on a deck like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't craft it now unless you're really excited to play Allies. I still think Allies is probably a reasonable, like, tier 2 option kind of thing. Like, the deck can win some games, but it's going to have a hard time against some of the best decks in the format.
Yeah.
But if that's, like, your cup of tea, that's great. I will say, though, that, like, if Kindred is kind of your thing, you don't got to act now. You should maybe wait for the next.
You should wait for Lorwyn, for sure. Though,
so unless it's Allies in particular.
It would be really nice if they added Allies to, like, I don't know, Marvel superheroes. Perfect place to have a bunch of allies. Like, maybe not other superheroes, but characters that were helpful could be allies. The Hobbit also has allies. Star Trek could also have allies. So there's, like, they could give us more stuff if they wanted to. They just probably won't. Because they won't. I mean, like,
they did give us a lot here, right?
They did. They gave us a whole deck.
Basically
yeah,
they gave us a whole deck.
They're not really...
Usually when they do that, it means they don't plan on supporting it further.
Exactly, yeah. They'll be like, they have enough. We don't need to worry about it.
An ally kind of means something a little specific in Magic. Obviously, this set has played with that a little bit.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it would be like, oh, the Kithkin in Lorwyn are allies or something, but they chose not to go that route based on spoilers and stuff.
Yeah, but
that would have been a bit of a stretch. But
it would be. It's also like, hey, just ally. There's so many. Ally can be basically anything almost. Like, it's just the characters that are friends with the protagonist, and like. So yes, they could add it, but it would just be a bunch of extra text on a bunch of cards for kind of no reason. So it's good that they probably won't do it, but we'll keep an eye on it, I guess. But yeah, so both of these 3-pointers, I also think these are worth, like when we told you to craft them, I think they were worth crafting, and you could play that deck. And you can still play that deck if you have it. We're just not telling you to craft it anymore, unless you're obsessed with Avatar. That would be.
If you're super into allies, you've probably already crafted them.
Yeah. So half-court shots. I picked an Aura, Avatar Destiny, another green card. Yeah, this was not, like, I knew this card wasn't going to do anything, but I just really liked it. It was fun in draft.
I think you've been past this card in draft.
I also think, like,
in one of my first drafts, I like saw it. I was like, oh, it's the card Zach picked. I'll take this other card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I played this card in amount in draft even, and it wasn't always amazing. So
I do think I lost to it in that same draft though, when I didn't pick it. I lost to it later, and I was like,
you know,
it looked good there.
Arena does this thing where if you pass a card, sometimes you play against it, and I don't know how they do this, but that just happens enough times where I'm like, okay, I passed this card, but now I'm losing to it. Is that part of the algorithm? Whereas, like, if you pass a card, you're going to lose to that card.
It's like the Thoughtseize bug, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I looked at your hand, I took this card out of it. It's like 95% of the time you play that card next turn.
Yeah, it's like, how did that happen? But anyway, Avatar Destiny, yeah, you shouldn't have crafted this. Don't craft this for your standard decks. It's not good.
Yeah, I picked Sozin's Comment, which I had to look up because I actually don't remember it. And I get why I picked this. It's a cool card, but I haven't seen it since picking it. So
yeah.
Also, don't advise crafting it.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Sozin's Comment in general. So just seems like a win more-ish kind of card. So, or it's like a combo piece where you need a big board, which seems strange when you could just win. So, yeah.
Yeah. For my next one, I actually have a prop for the those watching.
Mm-hmm.
So this was our overrated pick.
Yeah.
And I picked Momo Friendly Flyer.
You did.
But I wanted everyone to know, I have an admission.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Zach? I only said that so that nobody would buy these in paper, so that I could actually stock up on them. Okay, so you can see this. I actually bought all of them. And now I'm going to tell you, this is actually the best card ever. So you're going to want to buy these and play them. And it's definitely not just so that they increase in value. This wasn't a buy low, sell high kind of strategy. It's just what I truly believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Card's great. I was wrong. It's wrong. This card's just incredible. It's a 1/1 and it flies. What more do you want?
Yeah, I mean, Jeff, you have 32 copies of that card. It's one of your favorite cards. You love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't believe I put this down, but I've seen the error of my ways. Yeah. You want this card. Don't craft it on Arena. Just go buy it in paper.
So Jeff's birthday is in December, and Jeff was giving me such a hard time about picking Momo Friendly Flyer earlier, and then picking it as an overrated card was just the nail in the coffin, trying to be like, fuck this card, it's terrible. So I gave Jeff 8 play sets of that card for his birthday.
Oh. Yeah, I have them right here.
Yeah.
Always.
You got to sit on your desk. They're perfect. So... Oh, God. I love it. It's so funny. Oh, anyway. Well, I'm glad you've changed your mind about Momo. It's amazing. Like,
oh, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, the Flyers deck is coming together. Because I know how much you like Blue Art Flyers, right? Because you picked so much of it in the pack.
That's true. Yeah.
So
maybe I should buy a bunch of those.
Actually, those
Nomad
uncommons,
Legacy
they're going to skyrocket for sure.
could be worth multiple cents soon.
My overrated card is Planetarium of Wan Shitong, which honestly I didn't like. I still don't really like it, but I have seen it more, and it wasn't as horrible as I had thought. The fact that it's colorless is super helpful.
I see people play this, and I saw it do better on 17 lands than I thought it would.
Yeah.
But when I tried it, it sucked. And I was like, damn, I should have listened to our original advice of not playing this card. But I got swayed by the data.
See,
And then,
I never strayed to the point where I still pass it if I see it. I don't ever pick this card. But I have
it
lost
did
to
well on 17 lands.
I know.
Did it end up well? Yes, it did. Holy shit, it's a B minus, man.
Yeah, and I just never picked it, and I never played it, and
I was like, it's a B minus. I gotta take it. And then I was like, I wish I'd taken anything other than this piece of crap. And then I lost it a couple of times, and I was like, maybe I'm the only one that doesn't understand
what
how
to do with this
is good,
card.
But
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
I'm in the same place as you. I agree with our original assessment. I agree that people would probably think this card is overrated, and it was a good PSA from us to be like, don't play this card. But then people did it anyways, but they won with it. So
I do think
know.
you need a
I guess-
specific deck for it, and it has to be built in such a way that like you can't just. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But I don't know. I feel like
just not the decks that I wanna
to
play
get to B
either.
minus as a colorless card, as a colorless mythic rare, people would
That's
definitely
true.
just jam.
They
it.
are just gonna jam it. You're right.
Anyways, I know we usually snake. I'll go first on underrated, so you can end with your underrated pick. For the underrated card, I picked Foggy Swamp Visions, which I have been playing and is really good, and I like it. I stand by this card being underrated. This is the one that just like brings back your whole graveyard, but only for,
That turn.
only for an instant. And so you need to actually like do things with it. You can't like bring back creatures to block or attack generally.
What would you possibly be able to do with creatures if you're not blocking an attack?
Oh, send them right back to the graveyard where they came from.
That's
what I usually do.
Rude.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, welcome back to the mortal plane. Nope. Psych. the fuck back there. Yeah, it's a very cool card. I like it. The only thing that might question me labeling this as underrated is that I see that other people like it too, and I'm like, maybe it wasn't underrated. It was just appropriately rated. But
Well,
it's a cool card.
It felt underrated to me because I was pretty low on it. So I'm glad that you have turned. You see, I've swayed you. You swayed me. It all works out. All works out in the end.
Yeah. But Zach, what was your underrated card?
My underrated card, which seemed like not even a crazy pick, but like I picked Accumulate Wisdom. I was like, this card's gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Like people are
Guys,
not talking about this enough.
I'm not joking. Zach picked Ancestral Recall as an underrated Magic card.
All right. Okay. You're just. First of all, that's what I said. Yes, I did say Ancestral Recall. But that at the time it felt like Lessons was not going to be the best deck in Stand. I didn't think it was going to
for
win
sure.
the World
When you
Championship.
picked this, I was like, oh yeah, all right. That's a good point.
I'm pretty sure if you
it wasn't on my radar at all.
I'm
so
pretty
I
sure
definitely was underrated.
if you run the tape, I called it Ancestral Recall, and you laughed in my face. I'm pretty sure that happened. And it even is with Gran. It is just straight up Ancestral Recall. So,
Well, I forgot about Grand.
well, we all did. That was a surprise to everybody. Which is my favorite
And
thing
the
about...
stupid one from Bloomborough. Of course, there's always a Bloomborough card that is perfect.
Oh,
in the
right,
deck.
that also, yeah.
Forgot about that artist's talent.
Yeah. I weirdly don't love artist talent just because...
I hate that card, actually. Fuck that card.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it when I was playing Phoenix and Pioneer, and it's just like... I just would constantly forget that I had, like, loot triggers, and I'd be like, what am I discard here? Like, what's good? What's bad? What do I do?
It's another reason to hate these blue-red decks. If you ever want to play in paper, and you're used to playing on Arena, no chance, man. No chance. No chance you're getting the like, 17 triggers on your turn, correct?
Oh, remembering, yeah, and doing all this stuff.
When you're used to it being automated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just like the triggers, remembering those, but like it is the... Like watching Seth Manfield just discard all his Grands and be like, I don't need this card. I don't like it.
Even he made several misplays. That's how ridiculous the deck
and
is.
he took back at least one of them.
Are you suggesting there should be no takesy-backsies in the finals of the World Magic
Well,
Championship?
it was a top 8, but I'd also say I'm not saying whether or not I think takesy backsies in a competitive tournament is right or not. I'm just saying that that's what happened. That's all I'm saying. I'm not.
Oh, you're right. It wasn't the finals, right? It was against Ken.
It was against Ken in the quarterfinals. So, doesn't...
No, I think no takesy-backsies is fine to say. Because it's actually... It's yeah, well, we don't have to get into it. It is in the rule book.
Yes, it is in the rule book that you can takesy backsies if you ask a judge and they say yes.
Yeah, but the rule for the judge is if no information has been gained and by your opponent's reaction to your play, it's information.
It's the discretion of the judge whether information was obtained, and so that's the problem. It's the same as the NFL. Were they
Right.
fighting over the ball or not? Was that pass interference? That's the problem with this rule, I think.
Yeah, I think my main issue with it was that was not an isolated incident.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, intent or not, like we talked about sloppy play, like, who cares? If someone is playing sloppy, then they should get punished for it. If we have to start having judges come in to decide if someone's doing it on purpose or not, like, we're losing the plot.
Well, yeah, it really felt like a literal sport moment. I mean, they wanted to be an esport for so long. This is how you do it, where you test the referees early to see what they're going to call and what they're not going to call, and then you play the rest of the game depending on that. And that's basically what happened. It was like, oh, well, they let me do it last time, so let me just try again. And there you go. So
Yeah, and it's like the whole like Magic just used to be riddled with this stuff.
yeah.
That's what I don't like about it.
Well,
It's like,
the hard thing...
eliminated that, and then it's been such a clean, or allegedly clean game for a while, and then
I mean,
getting back to these tactics.
yeah, but they're not nearly as bad as, like, the rules lawyering and some of the bullshit from, like, the 90s is gone. Right? Like we're not dealing with...
Well, it's just more subtle now, right? It's like anything. You just get better at hiding it. And I think that it ultimately comes down to what you kind of pointed out of, like, an NFL referee is not an NFL player, but they have to make a decision of whether a player was gaining some sort of advantage.
Yes.
Or something. But they can't possibly be as knowledgeable or skilled at knowing that as the player themselves. Like, that's just never going to be possible. So it's like, when you have people who are less skilled at something judging the intent of people who are more skilled at something, there's always going to be a disconnect there.
Totally. But it's hard when the rules of the game tell you that that's how it's supposed to be run.
Right, and I'm not suggesting there's a better way of doing it, right? Like, what should we just... What's the alternative? We need someone who's meant to be impartial, who is as close to an expert at the game as we can get
I would say that
to judge.
Well, I would say that the best thing you could do is change the rules so that you can't do that, and that if you declare anything, I mean, it would make players more. It might make players play slower because they're thinking so hard about what they're going to do. And there's been rules over time about like whether you like present the spell and then tap your lands or vice versa or blah blah blah. All just a bunch of weird random ways of how you're supposed to conduct yourself while playing. But some of those are important. Like I remember playing against a player in one of these like RCQs, and just afterwards being like, just literally looking at him and be like, I lost, but I was like, I really like playing against you because you make everything extremely clear about what you're doing and what's happening and what lands you're tapping for what spells, and all of that is just so clean. I like playing against you because of that, so I never have to worry about anything. I just know that you have all of it covered. And I would just hope every player is like that. When I played in Japan, all the players put their hand out, they count out the 7 cards on the table, they look at you and they point at the cards to show you, I'm drawing 7, I'm putting them in my hand. Whenever they draw a card, they make sure that it's on the table, and then they put it in their hand. Like, so it's extremely clear. There's no way that I'm making it's a respect for your opponent. I'm making sure that this is very clear for you so that you don't have to think that I'm pulling something over your head or whatever. Which is important.
Yeah, and that was part of a lot of what I saw too, is like, that's what Ken is used to and expecting, kind of thing.
Yeah, and
I do a similar thing. When I draw my 7, I lay it out as 3, 2, and 2.
Yeah.
Just as like the cleanest way that you can see this is 7 cards that I have. And then I pick them up.
I do the same thing. I'll do like whatever 3, 3, and 1. But the looking at my opponent and pointing was a new thing to me. Like I wasn't.
Yeah, that I've never done. I just sort of I lay it out, and then I'm like, they've had enough time to see that this is indeed 7 cards.
Yeah.
But I play against people who just like basically pick up a pile and slop it into their hand, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like,
And you're like, and
cards,
you're not trying to
just
be
pick them.
rude or whatever, but like, it's those kinds of things where like people are just trying to take advantage of your like kindness. So.
But that's kind of what I was saying before, is like we have this rule where it's like, if you make some sort of game infraction, that's okay. But if it happens continuously, that's when we flag it as a problem. And that's kind of what bugged me about the thing, is it feels like Seth got kind of special treatment. Now, whether you think he should or not at the World Championship, it's a totally different story. But like if a random player does this multiple times, that's the flag to the judges that, okay, maybe now it's angle shooting. One time's a mistake, multiple times is angle shooting, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Does it matter? Like, it should just be, like you're saying, it should just be a clean decision. There's no judgment here. If it's your second offense, something has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of the talk, I mean, I didn't really want to get into this, but like obviously we're deep into it. I think some of the talk is like with the Boomerang Basics play. No, and I haven't, I've seen clips from it, but I haven't dug deep.
It's been
into
so
the whole
long
thing.
since I watched it.
Yeah, and
we
this is
took
old news,
a month
obviously.
Off,
But like part of the talk was that like he kind of presented the Boomerang Basics as a spell, not necessarily announcing its cast. So like, what are the rules with laying your hand out or showing your opponent cards but not saying anything? Like, is there something like where is that? There's a weird line of like, if you just like pull the card out and show your opponent and say nothing and look at stuff and point at it with your card but don't say any words. I'm not saying that that's what happened in this situation. I'm just saying in a hypothetical, like if you offer up information and kind of gauge what your opponent is doing from that, it's a weird thing to do, but I guess it's technically legal. It's just strange.
Yes, I think I just watched it once. I don't know if I picked up on that nuance. Like, what I picked up was he played Boomerang Basics with a target. His opponent passed priority back, said okay. Like, Ken was like, okay, passed priority. And that gives Seth information in my mind. Like, and then he decides he wants to play it on a different target. Like, just imagine, right? Like, you can come up with games that you've played where you're like, oh, I would love to play this spell on this, but if they can interact with it, I don't want to do that. There's a safer play here. If you were allowed to, like, test your opponent's interaction by targeting the safer spell, and then when they say nothing, you're like, actually, this one? Obviously, that's huge. I'm not saying that's necessarily what happened here.
Yeah,
but it's like, obviously information is gained when you see that your opponent passes priority.
Jeff, I figured it out. This is the perfect solution. All tournaments just have to be on Arena.
Yeah.
Boom. Don't have to worry about this. You can't take back on Arena.
I think they tried that. It didn't really work.
Yeah, nobody liked it. But I don't think that...
We loved it. Everyone else hated it.
I mean, there was an Arena Championship that we haven't even mentioned, so... But anyway, should we talk about some of our favorite cards from the set, or are we kind of just like the end of the episode is devolving a little bit, which I'm okay with. I'm totally fine. Yeah. If you don't have things right off the bat, if we have to think about anything, we should just leave it. Let's just leave it. All right.
Unless you have something you in particular want to talk about.
No. I just wanted to remind everyone that Jeff's favorite standard card from Avatar the Last Airbender is Momo Friendly Flyer, obviously. Obviously. He has so many copies of that card. How could it not be his favorite?
Oh, actually, maybe this is worth it, just to give you a bit of credit. This is for you, actually.
Okay, all right.
My favorite standard card in this set, without a doubt, is Obsessive Pursuit. I've been playing a lot of Obsessive Pursuit, and I have a deck that is extremely good if you draw Obsessive Pursuit, and a real struggle if you don't. So,
well,
it is.
It is a sweet card, and it was one of the ones I was thinking whether it was going to be my favorite limited card. I was like, ooh, I do love that card, though I lost enough times in limited to it that I decided it wasn't going to be something that I loved.
And I even am trying a couple copies of Raven Eagle in the deck, and I'm liking it. It just makes me think of you every time I play that deck. So I'm like, man, I'm playing fucking Obsessive Pursuits and Raven Eagles.
Yeah. Great. And Raven Eagle even just looks like it could have been from Tarkir, you know? So...
yeah.
That one's just... That's just a magic card. Wow. Anyway, Jeff, let's go to last call. Let's talk about this beer. Let's rate some stuff. As always, we rate all of our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, this has nothing to do with what tier you are in currently, because every beer is drinkable. That's not true. Every tier, that's what I'm trying to say. Every tier... everybody's in different tiers at different times, so don't feel bad.
Every tier is drinkable.
Yeah, it's playable. Don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers are trash. They're horrible. You spit them out. They aren't drinkable, and you hate them.
Silver beers are just bad or kind of boring, like not a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't really drink them again.
Platinum, solid, would totally drink it again.
Diamond beers are exceptional. You like these a lot, and you show them off to your friends.
Mythic, these are the best of the best. You would recommend them to anyone. These are the accumulate wisdoms of the beer world.
That's what I'm talking about. Nut Brown Ale, man. Silversmith. I think they nailed it. I think this is great beer.
They deliver again, man. Mm-hmm. They deliver again. This is pretty much exactly what I want from a brown ale.
Yeah.
I was reading the can actually after I drank it, because I remember thinking, like, in brown ales you usually get what's called like an English, which is like body first. And I was like, it's not quite that. And then I read the can, and they even describe it as an English American. So it's sort of like, American, you usually think of like the kind of hops and the finish and that kind of thing. And the English is usually body first. And I think it's just a perfect description. It's an English American brown ale. And I really liked it. That was good.
Yeah, it was great. I think this is like, it can be hard to find brown ales just in general because people don't like making them a lot because people in the public, I think
people don't buy them. Just us that buy them.
Well, they just they either don't know what they are or they don't like them because they taste more than other beers that they like. They taste more is what they are. Yeah.
They don't taste like nothing.
Yes.
So.
But I think this is great. Like, I don't know if I'm putting this like straight into like Badger Mole Cub territory, but like I think this is a diamond brown ale.
I think it's diamond. Yeah.
This feels like a really solid one. I don't know if it's my de facto best one, but it's really good. And
I took the first few sips and I was like, okay, we're at diamond.
Mm-hmm.
If it continues to like really wow me, we'll push to mythic. I don't think we got there. It's just like still just kind of good the whole way through.
Yeah. I definitely want more of it, and it's just reminding me that Silversmith is great and they're really good with these styles. Yeah. And even my backup beer was like a dark lager, and I was like, damn, that one's so much worse than what I was just drinking.
That would have been a nice comparison point.
Yeah.
Brown ale's good. This is a good brown ale.
Yes, diamond.
Happy to give this one diamond.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not silver for the Silversmith. It's Diamond Smith now.
Yeah. They should really call themselves Diamond Smith because I think most of their beers we give.
They definitely are Diamond Smith. We should call them up. We should tell them.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You should rename it to Diamond Smith, or if you're feeling ambitious, Mythic Smith.
Mythic Smith just sounds like a person's name for some reason.
Hello, Mythic Smith.
Hey, I'm
for the
Mythic Smith. I'm here for the brewery job. Anyway, let's go to closing time.
I make really fucking good beer.
You can always reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
You may also find us on Arena itself under the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally, it's actually a little bit harder than it usually is. I have not been streaming on Twitch nearly as much, or actually at all, since my child has been born. So we'll maybe get back to that at some point, but it won't be anytime soon. But you can always find me at @theregular_Zach on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. And YouTube and things like that. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Or you can find him on Marvel Snap. Best place to find me is our Discord channel. I go by Regular Jeff in the Discord channel. It's a great place to chat about Standard, about Limited, about the new sets, about whatever. Honestly, just come have a blast with us. And we once a month do a peasant arena cube draft, which means no rares, no mythic rares. You get to use those common and uncommon wild cards, and you get to draft a really well curated set of cards. It's a ton of fun. And I think is it the second Wednesday of every month?
Second Wednesday of every month, yeah.
So come join. It's super fun. And the link for the Discord channel, it's in the show notes.
That's right. Also, if you are looking for me on Marvel Snap, my name is not Regular Zach. My name is a 3-egg omelet. So you can find me as a 3-egg omelet on Marvel Snap if you want. I don't know if you can even find people. Can you have friends on that app? I don't know.
Is that how Marvel Snap works?
I don't know. Can you whatever? I guess you could set up a game with your friend, but it would probably take longer to set up the game than it would be to play the game. So
yeah, those games are fast.
They're so fast. Anyway, you can always leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify. Leave us a review there as well. Go to our YouTube channel, see our beautiful faces, and talk about how great the episode is. That would be great. We'd like that a lot. Mostly, we like this because it helps the podcast and all that stuff. But it means a lot to us to hear what you think about the show. So leave us a review or a little comment, and it makes us feel really good.
And if you're in the greater Toronto area, come to the event and tell us in person.
True. We are going to be at, once again, the Magic Spotlight event, February 6th to the 8th. I guess, like, technically, the 7th is the actual day of the main event. So come find us there. It will be, we'll have our nice Arena Regulars play mats. It'll be easy to find us. Yeah. Anyway, this has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that if you want to be good at Magic, just play blue and red and just draw cards. That's all that matters.
Good night. All right, that's fine.